Pahalgam attack, one of the most brutal attacks that India has witnessed in the past few years. It has claimed 28 lives as of now in Jammu and Kashmir. Civilians were targeted. There were targeted killings that happened yesterday. Now, joining me on this is Ashraf Ani, our reporter, who's been closely tracking all the developments. So, thank you, Mr. Ashraf, for joining us here. I want to begin by asking you if you could explain to our viewers how did this carnage took place? How did these terrorists manage to come to that tourism spot? Conduct the targeted killings. What was the modus operandi?
Actually, the modus operandi was to target the tourism industry, which was booming for last few years and particularly during last few months. We have seen last year record number of tourists visited Jammu and Kashmir.
Exactly.
And there was a message going across the world that the situation in the Kashmir Valley is improving and absolutely it is normal. We had seen the lifestyle change in the Kashmir Valley, particularly after the abrogation of Article 370. There, after a few months, we have seen the people were enjoying late evening walks in the city Srinagar as well as in other touristic destinations. So to create a kind of a panic among the tourists as well as among the locals, this was the modus operandi of the terror group, the TRF, which is the resistance front, which was created after the abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir by the Pak-Based terrorist groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. They have claimed responsibility for this heinous crime in Pahalgam. Pahalgam is one of the safest areas considered in the Jammu and Kashmir.
Exactly.
It is the top tourist destination of the valley. That is why the most of the tourists who come to the Jammu and Kashmir, particularly the Kashmir Valley, they surely visit the Pahalgam. That is why so far out of the some 22 lakh tourists, 80% of the tourists who visited Jammu and Kashmir Valley have visited Pahalgam also. It is a beautiful, scenic place with the fast flowing river Lidr, and then it has a number of small meadows around Beta Valley where the film Beta was shoot, and also this the Basaran Valley where this terrorist attack took place. And number two, you said what was the modus operandi also?
Yes.
Actually, the terror groups which are operating in the Jammu and Kashmir, they are very, we can say, frustrated after the normalcy in the Kashmir Valley. They could not show any major presence during the recent times. So to just give a kind of an indication to the security agencies as well as the government of India, the terror groups with the help of Pakistan and Pakistani intelligence agencies, ISI, have managed to push this terrorist attack in one of the areas.
Exactly, it was clearly an attack on the progress that has been made in Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, absolutely. And also, annual Amarnath Yatra is starting from the month of July, in the first week of July. And all the arrangements are being made for that Amarnath Yatra. And Pahalgam is one of the main base stations for this pilgrimage. So it is not only attack on the tourists, but also some kind of attack on this year's Amarnath Yatra, because it will create the fear among the pilgrims that probably should they visit Pahalgam or not, or should they perform this annual Amarnath Yatra in the Kashmir, because this is the topmost agenda on the security agencies as well as government to conduct safe and secure Amarnath Yatra, because Amarnath Yatra was earlier also targeted many times by the security forces, but during last 2 years the administration as well as security forces managed to make this Amarnath Yatra without any terror incident, without any trouble. So that was also irritating in the minds of the terror groups. That is why they targeted particularly Pahalgam, so that there will be fear among the tourists as well as among the Amarnath pilgrims. And that is why the security forces are on the top priority, carrying out the series of operations, not only in the Pahalgam where this terror attack took place, but also in different parts of the Kashmir Valley, so that they could join and find the links, how these terrorists managed to reach this spot and who was helping them, who are the overground workers who have helped them to reach that spot, and also was there any kind of information flow with the two terrorists, and who provided them that flow that people are gathering here and here they can carry out the terror attack. And also some questions being asked about the security lapse, because at
Yes.
least 1500 tourists were present at that particular picnic spot, which is known as mini Switzerland in Pahalgam. How there was not any presence of security establishment like police and paramilitary forces, if they are everywhere in the Kashmir Valley, particularly in the tourist destinations, then why it was without any presence of security at that time when this terrorist attack was carried out by these terrorists? And also, was any kind of intelligence failure with the security agencies? That is why the Home Minister himself is in Kashmir since last evening, and he is chalking out and getting the all ground situation reports from the top officials of the armed forces as well as from the police and intelligence agencies.
Clearly, a lot of questions being raised now about the intelligence failure, about the kind of security lapses that could have taken place. Now, I want to ask you about the search operation. You briefly touched upon it. What is the progress that we've made on that front, and also what is the update on those who were injured in the attack?
As far as injured are concerned, they all are stable. They are being treated in the top hospitals of the Kashmir, some of them in the government medical college in Anantnag, and one of them was serious, who was shifted by the helicopter to Srinagar and is being treated in the Sher Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences, which is the prime medical institute here in the Kashmir Valley. As far as operation is concerned, about which you asked, the operation was launched just after 1 hour of that terror attack by the different security agencies, including
Yes.
the paratroopers of the Indian Army. The paratroopers are specially equipped and trained soldiers in the Indian Army's elite forces, who are extensively trained and have kind of experience to carry out the operations in the dense forested areas, in the mountains, in the snowbound areas. So that special unit of the paratroopers has been inducted in this operation and also assisted by the Jammu and Kashmir police and other paramilitary forces. But this operation is a big challenge for the security forces till these terrorists, who are believed 4 to 5 in number, are at large. The any kind of terror threat is looming in the Kashmir, particularly in the Pahalgam area. So it is the top priority to neutralize or to capture all those terrorists who are believed behind this terror attack on Tuesday in Pahalgam.
Also, the geography of the region is such that that could pose as an obstacle in the search operations, right?
Not so much tough, because the topography of Jammu and Kashmir is like same what it is in the Pahalgam, except some towns and plains.
Okay.
And the security forces from police as well as from the security agencies and the army are well trained to carry out such operations in such areas. But one thing is clear, that there is the space for terrorists to hide, and probably they have chosen this mountain top and this meadow for this terror attack, because they might have not only carried out the recce of this attack before they carried out this terrorist attack, but may have first of all thought about the escape route.
Yes.
That is why yesterday evening they all the entry and exit points of that particular area were sealed off, and early in the morning today the combing operation started, and all the means and things are being taken in this operation, like the UAVs, like the helicopters, like the human intelligence, and also all those people who were the eyewitness of that terror crime are being questioned, and the information being also secret from them. And also there is a lot of video footage which was captured by some of the survivors
Yes.
at the spot, that is being also scrutinized. There are some pictures of the terrorists who had been captured in
Yes.
those cameras and those mobile clips. That is also being assessed and scrutinized by the intelligence agencies here in the Kashmir Valley. And one of the important thing what I want to discuss with you, just 2 hours back, the ERF, Resistance Front, which has claimed the responsibility of this terror attack, they have issued a statement on the social media
Okay.
where they have alleged that this group has been targeted because it was a kind of a group whose trip was sponsored by the government of India to assess the situation on ground in the Pahalgam, and that is why they have targeted it. And also they have raised multiple points in that statement, where they are saying that they have carried out this attack because number one, the victims are associated with the government of India. Their trip was sponsored, which is not true, absolutely. And
Okay.
also they are saying that the local people, to get the sympathy of the locals, they have claimed that the locals are being isolated by the union government in jobs, in recruitment, in education, in other things. But
Okay.
clearly, that is a we can say the covering up of this heinous crime in the Kashmir
Okay.
Valley by these
So
terrorists,
misguided claims are now being made.
which are being believed.
All
Yes,
right, sir.
absolutely.
So the last question to you is, because you've mentioned that they've been trying to, create some unrest in the valley. They've been trying to garner support from the locals. We've also witnessed protests, people coming out on the streets and taking a stand against terrorism. And you're present in Srinagar. So what do we know about the latest protests that are happening?
Actually, I am covering for the India Today the conflict of Kashmir for last 28 hours. I have never seen any time that the people of Kashmir have so united to
They've come out with a strong
protest
message.
against and against the whole. Absolutely, and the whole Kashmir Valley is shut down today, including Srinagar city. This Band call in the sympathy with the victims was supported by all the political organizations, by all the social groups, including the traders, the private school associations, and other tour operators here in the Srinagar. Just as we are talking, there are a number of protests going on in the Srinagar, one of them led by the PDP president and the former Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti in Lal Chowk, where she, with the party colleagues, is protesting against this terror attack. Then also we are seeing the BJP is organizing a protest rally in Srinagar's Lal Chowk. Some of the towns have already observed the candle march yesterday late evening in the solidarity with the victims, and also the not only in the Kashmir and Jammu but also in other parts of the region. The people have anger, including the Kashmiris particularly, because this terrorist attack has not only killed the tourists who had visited the Kashmir Valley, but it is a kind of attack on the economy of Jammu and Kashmir, on the tourism industry of Jammu and Kashmir. And everyone knows that in Kashmir Valley there are thousands of people whose survival is on the tourism,
Exactly.
and those people are very much in fear that probably they are going to hit after this terror attack. That is why they openly are coming in support of the tourists and are condemning this heinous terrorist attack on tourists in Pahalgam.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vani, for joining us here on India Today Global and giving us the latest with regard to the Pahalgam terror attack. Thank you so much.